Alright guys, Lil Uzi Vert recently had one of the worst flops in recent rap history with Eternal Take 2, especially in his sphere. However, for the past couple of weeks, there have been rumors brewing that Uzi was pulling a Frank Ocean, aka finessing his label. And there have been a lot of hints. However, recently, it was seemingly confirmed by Uzi himself that this is what Uzi did. So I'm going to go over the timeline of this rumor until it was quote-unquote confirmed by Uzi himself, and then tell you what I think, and also give you some context on the whole Frank Ocean stuff, what he did back in the day, you know, all that. So let's get into it. All right, so recently Lil Uzi Vert liked a comment on his post, his most recent post, and this is what it said. So you pulled a Frank Ocean and EA2 was your endless to get out of your deal. And I don't know why the only media posting of this I saved was from Nuff Said, but it just was. So I'm gonna just read it. Lil Uzi Vert tries to avoid accountability for his absolute dog shit album EA2 being trash by liking a comment of a schizophrenic and delusional fan who coped with the trash album by saying he, Lil Uzi, pulled a Frank Ocean, dropping an album just to satisfy a deal. So yeah, everyone's like, oh my god, Lil Uzi Vert confirmed the theory about EA2 being his endless to get out of his deal. So what the fans are clinging to and what they're saying is, oh, okay, this album was trash and it flopped, but it's okay because it was just to get Uzi out of his bad deal with Atlantic Records. So now he can drop the real album that we're gonna go crazy for. All right. So let me give you some context on what Frank Ocean did. All right. So Frank Ocean's finesse of his label Def Jam is one of the most iconic and strategic moves in music industry history. Basically, Frank Ocean signed with Def Jam pretty early in his career. However, he grew frustrated with the label. I think it was probably like creative control and the help they were giving him, etc., you know, or the lack thereof. So when he became a star, when he dropped Channel Orange, he started to get pressured to drop another album by him. And by 2016, he owed his label one more album to fulfill his contract. So he gave them Endless, which was not really like a real album. It was more so like a visual album released exclusively on Apple Music. So while it met the technical requirements of the contract, it was really more of like an artistic statement than a commercial release. So Def Jam, you know, bound by the agreement, accepted it as the final album, you know? Anyways, the finesse became clear when Frank Ocean independently released Blonde on his own label, Boys Don't Cry. And, you know, this was fully independently released, meaning when it debuted at #1 and became a massive commercial and critical success, it was huge for him. Because not only did it show that he was a great artist, but also a very savvy businessman, you know? And this move reportedly cost Def Jam like millions in potential earnings. So now let's go back to Lil Uzi. All right, I'm not gonna pull up any media, but I'll just tell you what happened. Basically, all of a sudden, Lil Uzi Vert just told everyone, yo, I'm dropping Eternal Take 2, okay guys, like, and everyone's like, what the fuck, he's dropping Eternal Take 2? Like, what? Everyone was like, what? Cardi was like, he's been teasing an album for 5 years, Uzi says I'm dropping next month, like, just, he's got everyone was talking about it, because it's Lil Uzi Vert, you know, like, he just popped his shit. Anyways, he goes more into it, he drops a trailer, he announces a Kai Cenat stream, which, you know, is a big deal, right? He changes all his album art to the Heaven's Gate logo with like a low opacity over it. You know, he really hypes up this album. There's no singles. All right, the day comes, he drops it. It is horrible. It's it's the worst fucking shit I've ever like heard from Uzi as a project. If you thought Pink Tape was bad, this is like, you can't get through this album, you know? However, soon after, these whole Frank Ocean rumors started brewing, and that's where fans were like, oh, maybe he did this as a finesse. Now, before we move on to the rumors and all the timeline of everything that went on, I do want to say this. To me, this was still a misstep in Lil Uzi's strategy because he should have just dropped a decent album. Like, I don't understand, like, you know, like, why would you drop such a dog shit album? It's just gonna be a stain on your legacy, you know what I mean? But I digress. Now, let's go into how Lil Uzi Vert finessed his label Atlantic Records. And this Uzi fan page, shout out lolok16, said, we all know Lil Uzi came out of a long hiatus from social media to quickly drop Eternal Take 2, but it was actually a throwaway album. So first, some are not convinced EA2 was Uzi's last album under contract. This story in late 2023 proves Uzi has only one album left. He was referring to Love Is Rage 3 in the story, but he changed it to EA2. He might not have wanted to stain the Love Is Rage legacy. Good point on his end. Why not stop now? Because business doesn't work like that. I have one more album to turn in. After that, I can finally genuinely smile. I've been getting judged from day one. I have never responded to negativity. I have a talented, but I also have a heart, and I've been holding in a lot. I'm not as close to my family as I should be. My relationship isn't in the best shape. I just want to breathe. So he's kind of saying like, yo, I'm going through something, you know? And he's been expressing his hate for Atlantic Records forever, since before Eternal Take dropped. By the way, if you know about his deal, it was actually a really good deal. So anyways, the account goes on to say, The months leading up to EA2, Uzi started wearing all white. All white represents a new start, new beginnings, cleansings, etc. This was proven when Uzi dropped the trailer to EA2, as he stated, the beginning of an era, alluding to independence from his label. Right, so these have a lot of like double meanings. Now this next one is a stretch. In addition to wearing all white, Uzi has made references to Frank Ocean during his rollout, one being a similar hairstyle. Okay, maybe not, I don't know, like you can look at them there. Now this is the main one. On November 11th, Uzi also posted a story of Frank Ocean with the words CFO on his side. Why Frank is important in this case is because he dropped a throwaway album, as I explained earlier, so he could get out of his label deal. Uzi referencing Frank means he's doing the same. Now I'm not saying anything's objective here. He said it was objective, but you know, yeah. Now this is a big thing, so I'm gonna start reading some of the reactions to it. I don't give a f. We defending EA2 with our entire chest. It's time to get Prime Uzi back. I'm not gonna lie, some of the snippets have been great. No wonder why it sounded rushed. It wasn't terrible, but you can clearly tell he just riffed that. He really invested in the project at all. I think that person meant he didn't invest in the project at all. They also showed like more pictures of Uzi looking like Frank, and this is more believable, like just the attire he's wearing, but I don't know. And this is also when Uzi started hinting at doing this. Maybe he's hinting at pulling an Endless. That would be insane if true. Someone said Timu, Endless, and Blonde. The thing is, Endless was not like a stain on Frank Ocean's legacy. It was like very artistic, if that makes sense. Uzi was just like, it's like he took a shit on his fans. It's like, all right guys, I'm gonna give you the real shit like a little later, but you have to deal with this, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, God. It would be pretty crazy though, if true, you know? But other people were like, yo, this means absolutely nothing. We get radio silence with this one. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people, some people also even thought that this meant Frank Ocean was gonna be on the deluxe. I'm delusional. Yeah, you are delusional. So this was called like the contract theory, and fans were like, oh, this is finally confirmed, blah, blah, blah. And this is another thing that a fan pointed out that I think strengthens this theory. Feel like people are saying this is code from Uzi, but aren't paying attention at all. He put CFO in his bio before any album's projections came out. He said he expected the album to be 50-50 before it even dropped in the interview. New contract I read mine is literally the first line of the album. Like, damn, it's literally all in front of us, LMAO. So I feel like Uzi definitely left a bunch of hints on purpose so he could go back and be like, yo, I warned you, and for it to be a cool thing. Anyways, this guy goes on. The story above was the second time Uzi mentioned CFO. The first time was 4 days after EA2 when he removes the EA2 link and adds CFO. CFO stands for Chief Financial Officer, which means Uzi is in control of his own moves financially and is independent. Also, Uzi removed all EA2 posts just 4 days after its release and changed his profile picture to the foot of a teddy bear. This means he does not care about promoting the album and does not want the label to make money. Uzi did not post anything advertising the merch either. So about the whole like merch situation, that could just be a trademark thing. I'll give you an example. So a lot of artists, they sell their trademarks. So their official like name merch, they don't really with. But yeah, anyways, at this point, the whole Frank Ocean plan really started to come to fruition. You gotta remember, before this, it was all like, people were just calling fans delusional, and I'm not gonna lie, they were totally right to do so. Someone said, there's no Frank Ocean plan. Where did y'all get this from? And start running with it. Someone said, I just want my goat to succeed. Anyways, let's keep moving. Then, one of the biggest clues we have is this alien picture, symbolizing EA2 was a throwaway. And it's the first picture under the inspiration tab under Uzi's new website, all right? Now, people interpreted this very differently. One person said, just realize this means that the alien listener is trying to decide on recycled music or new sounds. Someone said, I'm taking new sounds every time, blah, blah, blah. Someone said, bro is not the thinker. But some people said, nah, I think Uzi's saying he knows the album is trash. I agree with that. Anyways, the lyrics under EA2 also provided many clues as to why Uzi does not care about dropping hits or getting a new contract. In Meteor Man, he says, I make hits, then songs for hits. I don't give a f about a hit. Suck my, I'm running through like I'm not even really trying to make a hit. Yeah, new contract, I read mines, are we good? So there's more evidence when EA2 CDs shipped with the I'm cooked skit instead of we good. And people are thinking the label wanted Uzi to scrap the skit because it was so unserious, and could have been true. The EA2 trailer also shows Uzi as a show for other people, and he's controlled by his label. The girl finally frees Uzi, and he's able to enjoy life again. So he wrapped it up by saying, this thread shows that Uzi made it clear that escaping his label is a major priority. It's not hard to understand that EA2 being a throwaway album isn't a stretch but a reality. There are many other people close to Uzi who have insinuated this as well. Now, he did miss a couple of things, so I'm gonna point them out. Uzi's been plotting this the whole time, we didn't even know it. I'm dropping 2 more albums, then I'm out. And he said this in 2020. On Shells, he said, trying to figure out how I'm gonna get on my deal. I'm a bad boy. As Reverend, I feel like I'm Mace. And it seems like another part of why Uzi hates this deal is because he's signed through DJ Drama and Don Cannon. So you gotta understand, if you're signed underneath or through somebody, you're always gonna be making less money. Think about like why Big Sean left Kanye. He left Kanye's good music because he was like, yo, I need a bigger share. You know, think about why Kendrick Lamar left TDE. That's like, these are super mainstream examples, but I'm just giving you them anyway, and started his own label, PG Lang. Kendrick did that because he wanted to make the most money. So I think that probably irked him that other people were just making a ton of money off of him, you know? And yeah. So anyways, recently fans are very happy because it is pretty much confirmed that this was a Fugazi album. This is not like a theory anymore. However, there were some good points made in this Reddit thread. The thing is, if the next album is not received well, the hate is going to be even worse, and he won't even be able to use any excuses anymore. On top of this being basically invalidated. You're only as good as your last album. He can drop as many duds as he wants, to be honest, and can get the respect back once he is received well. Thing is, he loses more and more hype and attention with every project that is generally disliked. This guy summed everything up perfectly, alright? You know, Pink Tape was already a bad project. You know, you listen to that project, you can't listen to the album front and back. There's like all these rock songs that are so fucking ass. Like, you know, how am I gonna listen to that shit? There's some cool rap song. He should have just stayed in his bag. You know, like Uzi has this bag, and I don't know what he's trying to do there. Like, you know, he needs someone to help him arrange music. The worst part about Uzi 2 and Pink Tape and, you know, even this last album, and hopefully not the next album, is that he has so many leaks and songs where he's just so good. And even those like rock songs, he had better songs of that style. He just didn't drop them. It's like he has all this good music and he doesn't have someone to tell him like, yo, this is good, this is bad, this is good. You know, put this here, like arrange it this way, you know? Like whoever's running that is just butchering it. A lot of people were still saying it's a scapegoat, but you know, I don't know. So here's what I think. I think that Uzi could like make a comeback in terms of reputation. I think this run he's been on with Pink Tape and EA2 has been horrible. Like, let's just be real. To me, if he drops a really hard Love Is Rage 3 album, that could bring him back, you know? I think that it will drop in 2025. There's no way it's dropping anytime soon, you know? Because he just needs to build back hype, you know? It's not like he can't do it. You gotta understand, Frank Ocean, when he dropped Endless, he dropped Blonde the next day, you know? So it was orchestrated to the best of his abilities. Make sense? But anyways, there's a whole conversation to be had about EA2, and I'm not gonna lie, like I'm such a big fan of Uzi, I didn't even want to make a video shitting on him like that because it was just like hurt, you know? I was like, damn, like I'm really seeing this guy, like really seeing the downfall of like a legend, you know? I was like, damn, but this made me feel a little better. It's like, damn, you know, fuck, let's go. But yeah, I'll drop a video on that tomorrow. But just to sum things up, I would just say that he can definitely make this comeback that he wants. It just has to be executed right, you know? He needs to pick the right songs. He needs to build hype up properly. He needs to maybe utilize some connections, like do some shit with Yeet or something, you know, I don't know. Like he needs to work with the right producers, like Brendan Finessin. He's cool, but you know, work with like We Gonna Be Okay or Molly Rock. Get in your bag, you know, like don't, you know what I mean? He needs to also get off the, you know, there's more shit. But anyways, peace. Let me know what you think. It's actually pretty crazy. Good for him. And bye.